Now tell me, what do you think actually happened with that session? That change? Was it just like the breathing itself facilitated the energetic shift, or was something deeper? Like what do you think it was?
Yeah. So we accumulate stresses and trauma. We all have stress. And when stress goes unchecked, it turns into anxiety. When anxiety goes unchecked, it turns into, panic attacks or depression. And what we don't realize is that, we're strong beings. So we have an experience, we dust ourselves off and we just go into the next one. But the problem is, as children, we don't know how to process certain emotions. We don't have the emotional intelligence to process those emotions. So, as we get older, our definition of trauma and pain changes, right? What I would consider trauma in, 8th grade or 6th grade isn't necessarily what I would now. But if we didn't get picked for dodgeball, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we got pushed off the swing by a bully, right? That's traumatic. And we don't know how to process that. And it accumulates. And the problem is it compounds. Mm-hmm. And now we have all these issues, and those issues are stored in the body. So the body is the living library of those experiences. So this is why they say the issues are in the tissues. So you will have physical symptoms if this stuff isn't treated, if you're not doing anything about it. So it stores in the body. Now, there's one place in the body where all of your energy centers, which are called your nadis. So you have 72,000 of these energetic pranic channels that run through your body. Anatomically, you can't cut them open and see them. This is what my issue was. And there's 72,000 that run through the body, and it gives you goosebumps. Like, that's your nadi system. And where they all intersect is your stomach. So your stomach is the Times Square of your energy center. It's where most of your serotonin is produced. It's most of your immune system. So if you get an energy blockage in your stomach, you are going to have problems in life. And that was my issue. So all these other modalities, going to the gym and exercising is great. Everybody should do it. Mm-hmm. It's not going to clear your nadi system, right? Running a marathon 5K is great. It's not going to clear your energetic system. And even the ayahuasca. Now, the one thing that does clear these energetic pathways is the breath. Mm. And this was the discovery. So all that energy that I was keeping in my stomach, when I did this specific technique, that's what was able to clear out that energy. And this is the reason why it doesn't matter if I'm doing breath work, at Nike or NASA, or I'm doing breath work in a maximum security prison yard. Statistically speaking, there's 60 to 70% of the people doing this process, they will break down in tears and they'll cry. And that's all crying is a huge emotional release. Mm-hmm. That's it. So people cry because they're holding on to all this stuff and they don't really have the tools, the mechanisms, the time, or the place to process these emotions. And grown men, right, we have to process at some point, or if not, you can be 60, 70, 80 years old and carrying emotions from when you were 12. So this is the time and space that I help create for them. And this is why people release in that fashion and they're able to get this stuff out of their system. Yeah,
it's pretty wild you're mentioning this, because I was just an hour ago, I was doing another podcast with Dr. Jody Skillencorn, who wrote about depression and healing without medication. And we were getting into a lot of the causes of depression, everything. She said, so much, like 90% is trauma from childhood. And you just carry that on and it starts to impact you in different ways. And it could be physical, or it could be that depressive anxiety, everything else. So it's crazy that you're bringing that up again, that trauma. And we need to learn, because listen, kids these days are going to have lots of trauma too, because it's not just from the physical form. We all have it digitally, trauma, right? Being picked on with everything, social media and just text, and everyone has a phone now. So it's really important to find those tools and empower both children and adults who grow up with that trauma to do that. And breathwork seems like probably the simplest one, right? Incredibly powerful, but it's something you could do without buying anything, without spending money.